Tell me, Petra, does aught here strike you as odd? I see signs of recent habitation. Could it be that we have trespassers? Mayhap it's just my imagination. Come, let us proceed into the solar. We're gonna have more problems? Okay, wait. Should I feel like I should take this for the potential look. How's it going, Gags? Wait. What? Who goes there? Why is it so dark in here? Now, Ida, is that any way to greet a friend? Alphanon, Petra. Stranger. Sid? Wait, is this a dream? Not that I'm aware of. It's been a while, Ida. I don't believe it. I was sure you'd been... This place has seen better days. You know, I wasn't actually here when I was still in talks at the Adder's Nest. The first I knew about it was when I came back and I saw Ida. The church had taken care of the bodies, but that still left the stains. It was hard to know where to start. If Ishtola hadn't been here to help me... Ishtola is here too? Yes, but she's not here right now. She's gone to Old Da to meet a man who might know what happened to the others. Papalimo and Menphilia weren't among the dead, according to the church. Ishtola thinks they were taken somewhere. Upon the orders of the Black Wolf, no doubt. Why would he want them? Because they possess something he desires, knowledge of another power that can be brought to bear against the primals, one that Gaius has yet to harness. The Echo. What? Gaius will be aware of its existence, as well as the immunity it grants the gifted of the primal's influence. Powerful though his Allagan weapon may be, he would doubtless desire such protection. He means to use Menphilia to gain an understanding of the Echo, none of which explains how the Empire came to know the location of the Waking Sands in the first place. No matter. The Empire has shown its hand, and now we must act. It is up to us to rebuild the Scions and save Eorzea. Can I count on you, Ida? What? Oh, yes, of course, whatever you need. We can discuss our next move upon Ishtola's return. For now, I say we rest. Literally right now. Sit and sleep. Or stand and sleep.
Hear, feel, think. Bringer of light, brave gatherer of the crystals, thy soul burneth bright. I am Hydaelyn, all made one. Hearken unto me now, for the darkness doth begin to spread. Wear thee the bearer of the crimson brand, for he is the avatar of shadow, whom death attendeth always. The crystals shall be thy salvation, thy blade and shield both. Steel thyself, for at the appointed hour thou shalt stare into the heart of darkness. Go with caution, my child, but fear not, for I am ever with thee.
Big crystal. Ishtola. Petra, I see you and Alphanot are safe. And Sid. That we five should meet each other thus defies simple explanation. It is as if the benevolent hand of Master Lassois guides us still. He would not see us undone so easily, not now when the need is so great. I know where Minfilia and the others are being held. Where? An Imperial stronghold in the heart of Mordana, Castrum Sentry. Like, I don't know what that means. Someone fill me in. Wanted to catch up on chat here real quick. There's also just different personality types as well. Not everyone has the same level of patience when it comes to trial and error to figure things out. Myself, I have a higher threshold for trial and error if it's a group activity than I do if it's myself. I can play Savage fights in this game, but I won't play a Souls game. Yeah, it's really interesting. I feel like patience is one of the hardest things to get right, too. You know? Like, if you're making a game, like, let's just say a basic RPG, right? One of the core foundations of RPGs is grinding. That's what makes it fun, is grinding to get stronger and then seeing your character get stronger, right? But how much grinding is enough to call it an RPG, but not too much to make it boring or people are going to get sick of it? And, like, that balance is seemingly really tough. Lately, I've played a couple newer RPGs like Sea of Stars, and they basically have zero grinding. You just play through and you level up as you play. There really is no moment where you're like, I need to grind before this next thing. Older RPGs tend to have more areas where, like, oh, there's going to be this big tough boss, you should probably grind a little bit. And it's usually still possible without grinding, you know, especially if you're playing through the game a second time. But, you know, there's usually kind of an obvious, like, oh, you should probably chill here a bit. And usually, I think what makes a good RPG is not, you know, you have a boss and then you have like a little grass patch right by the boss, and it's like, all right, run around in circles in this grass patch until you're strong enough to beat the boss, right? I think that's a bad way to do RPG grinding. A good way to do RPG grinding is, oh, there's this boss that's way too hard to beat, but there's this side quest you can do to learn more about this character's story or whatever, and while you're doing it, you're going to get stronger, and then when you come back to the boss, you'll be able to beat it, right? That's a much better way to do it. Or just have like this area that's pretty interesting that has some loot in it. And as you're doing that, you're getting stronger anyways. So kind of hiding the grind within other objectives. And not like 16, not like specifically like picking up a side quest. That still works, but I don't think it's as good. A great example, Final Fantasy VII. You can rush straight past the gold saucer and go to Cosmo Canyon. But if you do, you're going to probably struggle on the boss there. Or you can take a detour and go to Gungaga and get Titan and fight some enemies and level up and fight the optional Turk battle and get a better weapon for Aerith and level up. And then you go to Cosmo Canyon and hey, you're a lot stronger now and you can probably take on the boss. So like, you're learning a little bit about the story, you're getting fun loot, and you're also leveling up as a side effect of doing that, right? So you're grinding, but not really. You wouldn't call it grinding, but technically you are grinding, going up levels and then, getting stronger. Then you have like a great dungeon like Mount Nibel, where you walk in and the first thing you see is Materia Keeper. But you don't have to go right for Materia Keeper. You can take that little side area and go around the mountain and get some loot. And then when you come back, you're going to be stronger, and then Materia Keeper will be easier. So stuff like that, where like you can distract the player and have them grind. Instead of just having a boss and then being like, all right, run in circles until you're strong enough, Another good example, Temple of the Ancients. You can go right for the dragon, or you can go down all the side paths in the clock room and get new equipment. And as you're doing that, you're fighting things and getting stronger. So a lot of really good examples in 7. Nowadays, I feel like games either don't do grinding correctly or they just don't have it. Something like Sea of Stars, which is an amazing game, but you can see kind of the difference with the way they design RPGs nowadays, where there really isn't, you can grind if you want, but you're going to be perfectly fine just fighting everything as it comes up and never really retracing your steps or running around in circles. Probably the ultimate example of grinding is the original Pokemon games. Like I'm playing through Pokemon Red right now with my son, and he wanted to pick Bulbasaur, so we picked Bulbasaur, and then I got to Brock, and it was like run around in circles until you get a move with Bulbasaur that can kill Onix. Otherwise, you're dead. You know what I mean? Like, you have no choice but to run around in circles. I mean, what else are you going to do? You have the one route, and you're catching Pidgey and Rattata, and if you're lucky, you get a Pikachu from the forest. But even Pikachu sucks against Onix. So, like, you are forced to sit there and grind until you have a Pokemon that can beat Onix. And that's just really fascinating to me, because that's, like, not something that I think that genuinely, if Pokemon Red came out right now, people would say that first area is awful. They'd be like, that's terrible. Why do you have to grind for like 30 minutes to beat the first boss? That's ridiculous, right? If I came out with an RPG right now where the very first boss, you had to grind for 45 minutes to beat him, you guys would be like, that is terrible balancing. But back then, it was like, we just wanted to catch Pokemon and have fun, and grinding was super fun, and we didn't mind that Brock was hard, So I don't know, the whole like mentality of grinding has kind of changed over the years, I think. Because I very much enjoyed running around in circles in that one little patch of grass and catching a Rattata and a Pidgey, and then my son wanted to get a Pikachu because obvious. And so we ran around the forest until we finally got a Pikachu. And like that was way more fun than just being able to bulldoze through Brock if he was easier. So I don't know, it's interesting to think about.
Who's that Pokemon?
Yeah, I mean, even something like Legend of Zelda 2. Legend of Zelda 2 had like grinding that you had to do to take on Death Mountain. Imagine that, a Zelda game where you have to grind, like have to. Or you just suddenly get smashed. Like, that feels kind of unheard of nowadays. Don't you think if they came out with a Legend of Zelda game right now, where halfway through the game you had to grind for like 2 hours to get strong enough? I could see the news outlets now. I could see the GameSpot articles. Worst grind ever. Why? People get like super, I can't beat this boss. The reviewers can't beat the boss. 0 out of 10 game. The rescue of our allies will be no small undertaking, Petra. Even under normal circumstances, breaching the defenses of an Imperial castrum would be a highly dangerous proposition. But now that Castrum Sentry houses prisoners whom the Garleans deem valuable, we may be confident that they have taken additional measures to ensure the stronghold's security. If we are to free our friends, we will require an effective strategy, and if we are to formulate an effective strategy, we will require intelligence. I believe I know a man who may be able to assist us in this. Lord Portalaine of House Derendare. Oh god. He is stationed at the observatorium in Coarthus. Let us go to him and beseech his aid. I wanted to review this game, but I'm still stuck in the tutorial for Cuphead. And you know, if I'm being honest, if I'm being truly honest with myself, I also have lost my desire to grind much in video games. And a big part of it is my mentality of wanting to finish games nowadays. So that I can move on, because there's just so many games to play and so many games I want to play and so many projects I want to do. And part of that is my midlife crisis core. But also, like, just the fact that there's so many games nowadays and they're so cheap and you get them for free and Game Pass and everything and Steam. You know, just there's so much that you don't want to sit and grind in a specific game. Now, having said that, I just spent like 120 hours getting the PS3 BBS Platinum because I'm an idiot. But like, that was a very objective focus. This is why I'm grinding. If I were just playing a game for the first time with no real objective and I had to grind 3 hours to beat a boss, I'd be like, wow, this is lame. I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? If I have an objective, like, yeah, I got to spend 120 hours doing this, but I'm going to get this trophy I want, then I'm fine. But if I'm playing a game for the first time, trying to decide if I want to continue playing it, and the first boss I got to grind 45 minutes to beat, that might be more of like a, yeah, this game, I might just want to play something else. But it very much depends. Very much depends. Because something like Demon Souls took me like 3 hours to beat the first boss, but man, when I beat that first boss, was I hooked. Like, you know, because of how much work I had to put in to get there. Oh my god, that reminds me of Bloodborne. I wonder how many other people... I wonder how many people quit in the first area of Bloodborne, and how many people, once they finally beat the first part of Bloodborne, got completely hooked. Because that was me. I almost quit the game in the first area. And I had played every Souls game up to that point, except Dark Souls 1. But, man, that first part of Bloodborne had my blood boiling. I was so frustrated with that first part of Bloodborne. But then when I finally beat it, I was like hooked at that point. You know, another thing that I think adds to the whole idea of like, oh, I'm just bad at games. And I'm not talking about new players either. I'm talking about maybe you're someone that's played games your entire life, but there's just a certain type of game. Like maybe you're just puzzle games. Like maybe you're not very good at puzzle games. And every time you try to play a new puzzle game, you look up some video of someone playing it at super crazy hard, difficult, beating it in 2 seconds, you know, and you're like, all right, I'm just bad. You know what I mean? So I think the social media explosion of like esports and speedrunners and people playing games well also contributes to people just kind of sticking to their what they think they're good at and not trying to improve. And I've definitely been part of that as well. I've tried to not be that way. Just at me next time. I've tried to not be that way lately. I've tried to play games that I think I'm bad at and get better at them. That's been a lot of my speedrun journey. The first game I officially speedran was Dishonored because I felt like I was bad at it. And I wanted to challenge myself to be good at a game that I first thought I was bad at, you know? And that's what got me into running Dishonored. Was like I tried to challenge myself. I played the game for the first time and I sucked at it. Just trying to beat the game, I was like terrible. Couldn't figure it out. I sucked at the stealth. Didn't understand, you know, it was just bad. So I challenged myself to not only beat it, but like get good and speedrun it. So, you know, but I'll admit I haven't always been that way. I've picked up games and just been like, I'm bad at this, and not challenged myself to get any better at it. And sometimes it's just because I don't like it. But other times, you know, you don't want to play something you're bad at. You want to play stuff you're good at. You want to... Video games in their ultimate form is supposed to be comforting and try to it's supposed to be a good vibe, not a bad one. So when you feel like you're bad at something and you don't always want to put in the work to get better at it, you just want to play something else. I feel that way about fighting games, man. I love Tekken, and I'm really excited for Tekken 8, but I'm afraid Tekken 8 is going to be the same as every other Tekken for me, where I beat the game and then I play like 2 people online, and I'm like, you know what? You know what? Maybe I just go play Celeste or something. I don't know. And like, that's on me, because I could 100% get better at it. 100% get better at it. If I put in the time, if I learn the combos, if I learn how fighting games work, I could get better at it. But do I want to put in that effort? I don't know. You know, and that's the way fighting games are. You really have to grind to get good at fighting games. It's just whether or not I like it enough to put in the effort. And I do really like Tekken, so I do really want to try to get good at Tekken 8, but it's a lot of effort, and there's a lot of other things I want to play, and it just depends on if it's something I want to do. But fighting games are more of a, I just think the time investment is too much. But there's been other times where I've definitely fallen down the path of, I'm just not good at this, and then I don't try. I'm sure everyone's like that. I'm sure everyone has a game like that. Ah, Petra, the woman who unmasked the heretic in our midst. To what do I owe the pleasure of your company? You are an associate of Ashtola? But of course, Lord Jolamont confided to me that you are a scion of the 7th Dawn. Give me your gloves. Oh, I forgot to check that other thing I got. Castrum Sentry, what interest have you all in the Imperials? They hold several of our number, whom we intend to free. Any information you can provide would be greatly appreciated. I see. That might explain our scouts' reports. They observed 4 prisoners being led into the castrum. A Hyrorian woman, an Elysian man, and 2 Lalafells, 1 male, 1 female. It's them. It has to be. Minfilia, Erangier, Papalimo, and Tartaru. If that scant morsel is of use to you, you may also be interested to hear about a more recent incident. Incident? An Imperial airship made an emergency landing here in Quarthus not long ago. 2 men believed to be prisoners, a Ragadin and a Lalafell, were seen fleeing the craft. What did you say? It's gonna be Biggs and Wedge. A Ragadin and a Lalafell, Master Garland. Neither wore Imperial dress, and both seemed disinclined to wait for rescue, hence our assumption that they were prisoners. Well, I'll be danged. It's Biggs and Wedge. Trust those 2 rascals to escape. We must find them, Petra, and soon. The Imperials will not rest until they have captured or killed, and if Biggs were given the choice, I fear he'd take the latter. Freeing those held in Castrum Sentry will require substantial planning and preparation. As such, it is an endeavor that will admit some slight delay. The matter of the escapees, by contrast, will not. Shortly after the prisoners vacated the airship, our scouts observed Imperial troops setting off in pursuit. It is likely only a matter of time before they catch them. If you wish to see your comrades again, you had best act now. If, as he has been suggested, the Garleans took our fellow scions prisoner in hopes of understanding the Echo, it seems reasonable to assume that they will not be executed until such time as the study is complete. But Biggs and Wedge are not scions, nor do they know aught of the Echo. As Lord Portland said, this may prove our only chance to rescue them. I say we seize it. Thank you, everyone. You won't regret this. Big smile. Oh boy. The Empire has arrived. Alright, hold on. Can I pause here? Or is it gonna auto go? Camera's panning. Camera's panning. Camera's still panning. How long can the camera pan? I have to go to the bathroom, that's why. But I don't know if it's gonna auto. I don't think it will. It's good. Alright. Run to the bathroom real quick. At this point, the final preparations might actually be complete. There stands the culmination of 5 long years of painstaking work, but all our efforts will be vindicated when the Emperor's vision becomes reality. At last, we have the power to purge this land of its false gods. We shall give the ignorant children of Eorzea the security and stability they so desperately crave, and which their spineless leaders have so palpably failed to provide. As you say, my lord, rest assured our engineers will not rest until the weapon is fully armed and operational. Riatin, you depart for Castrum Occidens at midnight. You will command the Western Front in Vilbrand. The Eorzeans will attempt to interfere with our plans. You will see that they do not. My lord, if this is your will, I shall carry it out to the best of my ability. I live only to serve the Empire. Yet, forgive my impudence, but is it proper to give command of half our forces to a... I have given you nothing, Prefectus. You have earned it. That will be all. Dismissed. Yes, my lord. My quarters, 1 hour. My purpose here is to reconnoiter Garlean activity along Abolithia's spine. Owing to this, I have the honor of being acquainted with this Tola. Now, the report of the Imperial airship's emergency landing came to us by way of Desmel Darkhold, situated to the west. Our man stationed at the entrance, a knight named Brysolt, may be able to tell you more. So as to expedite your mission, I shall furnish you with a letter of introduction. I pray that you will soon be reunited with your comrades. May the Fury grant you strength. I always love when people say furnish you. I will furnish you with this letter. Sounds funny. I ain't a house. She's a brick. Na-na-na-na. House. How's it going, T-Mark? I'll go the Christmas preparations. Hope you're having a good one. Good. So am I. I am ready to rock. I do need to rock and or roll. I do need to finish wrapping though. But wrapping should be pretty easy. You stand before Desmail Darkhold, the subterranean fortress excavated by the greatest guardian house of the same name. None but authorized personnel may enter. A letter from Lord Portillane. So you have come about the Imperial airship. According to our scouts, the vessel had scarce touched the ground when a pair of men, captives by all accounts, burst forth and bolted. Imperial soldiers have since been sighted in the area, seeking to recapture them. What? The captives are like to be your friends, you say? And let us pray that they are yet a step ahead of their pursuers. The emergency landing reportedly took place near the Aram Vale, situated south and west of here. I suggest you take your search there. Seek out a knight named Pyramons. He should be able to assist you. Some giants. What's that guard doing? You gonna help or what? Oops. Oh, why not? Let's get the ice sprite involved. Take you both at once. Oh god. What have I done? Guards, help! Guards! Help! Oh. I'm still getting used to my secondary page there. I didn't switch to it fast enough. What did that guy just say to me? Oh crap, I gotta go all the way up here. I feel like the general difficulty curve of the game has gotten harder. Because, like, I'm still... Well, actually, I'm level 46, so I guess not. I guess we're about the right spot. But, when I was on level before, stuff was pretty free. Now, if I tick off too many enemies, there's a good chance I can die. You're a little late for the giveaway, the first two giveaways, but there may be more. Wink, wink. There may be more giveaways for the end of the day. How's it going, Blog? Good to see you, man. Hope you're having a good holiday. He like walked up and said that right when I spawned in. What's that supposed to mean, man? Would I ever consider doing 2 Final Fantathon days? No, because that's kind of the point of Final Fantathon. 1 day a week so everyone can actually stay connected. Like, the whole point of Fantathon was I wanted to play through the whole series, but I wanted to do it in a like a way that everyone could keep up and be a part of it and not just be one giant we're marathoning for 3 months and then that's it, you know. So the whole idea from the start was like, and I wanted to only do 4 episodes like my other my other Let's Plays. I usually do 4 hours and then an episode Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But with this being so long, I realized that we're gonna have to do some double days or else we'll be here till I'm 40. So, especially with stuff like Final Fantasy XIV, where it just doesn't feel like you really get anywhere in 4 hours. I knew that I wanted to do 8 hours. But for the most part, like up to Final Fantasy VII, I think we had only done a few double days. It was mostly just the 4 hours. That way everyone could stay, you know, watch an hour a day throughout the week and be able to stay up to date. Now, some of our playthroughs, like when we did Vincent's Gambit, I played that every day until it was done. Because the series itself wasn't super long, so you could just watch it afterwards if you couldn't catch the streams. But the Friday series has always been just Friday. That was kind of the... Back when we started it with Legend of Dragoon, I believe, was the first one. The whole idea was, you know, playing the games at a pace where everyone could stay involved and, you know, make it more of a community thing, so. And Final Fantathon is just the continuation of the Friday series. The original idea behind Fantathon was a combination of the Friday series and a marathon series that we were doing. So. The Imperial airship. I saw it approach the land with mine own 2 eyes. I hastened to the landing site, arriving just in time to see the vessel take to the skies again, but not before it had deployed a detachment of troops. Gruff orders were being barked, and there was an air of consternation about them. Okay, let's see here. So, this is worse. Ooh, it goes with my pants. These are also worse. And these are better. There were prisoners aboard the airship, it seems, and they seized the opportunity to flee when the vessel was forced to land. The Garleans would be deployed, who were deployed formed search parties and proceeded to scour the wilderness. In order to alert our forces, I returned to my post. To find evidence that someone had been here in my absence. Whoever they were, they tried the door to no avail and decided to go elsewhere. In all, I marked 2 sets of footprints, one large and one small. If you search the area, mayhap you will be able to follow the footprints to their owners. Where could these footprints go? I know. It's been quite the journey. I can't believe it's coming to an end next year. Friday isn't necessarily YouTube only day, but yeah, Friday mornings have always been the Let's Play time. Friday morning, 8:30 to noonish, has always been the YouTube Let's Play, whatever one is currently going on, whether it be an old RPG or a Final Fantasy VII challenge or a mod or whatever the current Friday series is. It's always Friday mornings. Has been for years. But then when Fantathon started, we started doing these double days because we knew Fantathon was gonna be very, very long if we didn't. So. The only time we ever did like double days back, oh my god, he's hiding under the bridge. The only time we ever did double days, back when we were doing like the old Let's Plays, were when we'd get to like the end of the game and we were super close to finishing, then we just like finish it out. Brr, so cold. I want to go home. Hello. Wah! Please don't eat me. I'm not nearly as succulent as I look. It's all skin and bones underneath, I swear. Petra, it's you. Thank goodness you're here. It's been awful. The Garleans were snapping at our heels like a hungry pack of wolves. I was so hell-bent on evading them, I almost ran headlong into a monster's gaping maw. Thrice! And when I finally found cover, it hit me how cold and hungry I was. Biggs? He isn't here. He went off in a different direction to lure our pursuers away. It's me, Sid. Have you had any success? Track down Wedge? That's wonderful news. Now what of Biggs? I see. Well, it hardly surprises me that the big fellow went off as he did. For all the tongue lashings he gives Wedge, he's always taking care of him. I've scoured the area surrounding the Darkhold, but have nothing to show for it. At any rate, we know for a fact that Biggs headed west. With both Ida and Ishtola helping out, I'm sure he'll turn up soon. Now then, I'll make my way over to your position while keeping an eye out for Biggs. If memory serves, there should be an Iscardian fortification not far from to your west. Monument Tower, I believe it's called. Let us meet there. Dare I hope? Was that Master Garland you spoke with? After 5 long years, thank goodness he's alive. I'm feeling better now, Petra. Let's go to Monument Tower and wait for the chief to arrive. Chrono Cross was definitely an interesting playthrough. I liked it. I had some issues with it, but I also still enjoyed it. But it was a very fun playthrough, just from the wild nature of the game. And the music was heavenly. I'll never forget the Legend of Legaia playthrough. It's one of my favorite things we've ever done on the channel. And the in-depth playthrough of 7, which was part of Fantathon, but... Well met and welcome, adventurer. What brings you to this frozen corner of the realm? Waiting for my buddy. Oh, it would seem your companion has caught a chill. Come and warm yourself by the fire. I will bring you a hot broth. How are we feeling now, then? Stay here as long as you need. The same goes for you, friend. 'Tis plain you have had a hard journey ahead of you. You must find rest when you can. What a nice random person.